So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a very short span of time within 30 minutes. The idea is very simple. We want you to cover your current affairs and we want you to cover them on a daily basis. But you can't spend your entire day just reading the newspaper. Therefore, for your facility, we have come out with this lecture series in which we'll cover the entire day's current affairs within 30 minutes. Now, just watching this lecture would be job half done because just after watching it, you need to revise it. Revision helps in consolidating these current affairs in your memory. Otherwise, you'll quickly forget them. Now, you can revise these current affairs from the notes provided by us, and these notes are available on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below this video. You just have to click on that link and it will take you to our Telegram channel from where you can download the notes. Alright. Let's begin today's discussion. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we are going to discuss today. Okay, so here's the list of today's topics. Number 1, National Commission for Safai Karamcharis. So Government of India has recently announced that the members of National Commission for Safai Karamcharis will get an extended tenure of 3 years. The purpose is very simple. Government wants to do more for the welfare of Safai Karamcharis. That's why government has extended the tenure of this commission or the members of this commission. So we'll talk about this commission. Then recently, you must be knowing this if you have been following our current affairs for quite some time, that government had launched Project Cheetah, in which we'll be getting cheetahs from South Africa and Namibia and placing them in India. Now, many cheetahs were brought and they were placed in Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. Now, a next batch of cheetahs is being translocated and it is going to be placed not in Kuno National Park but Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. So, we'll talk about Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. Alright. Then we'll talk about SRY Gene. This SRY gene, a new study has found out this gene, and this gene is found on sex chromosomes. This gene is important in determining sex of a baby. Okay, when the embryo develops in a mother's womb, how is the sex decided? Okay, so we'll talk about SRY gene. It is very important. Then recently, South Coast Railway Zone, a new zone has been added to Indian Railways, and now Indian Railways has 18 total zones. Now, this would reveal how Indian Railways is organized. Okay. Now, Indian Railways has 18 zones, and within these zones, there are many divisions. Okay. And recently, Government of India has added one more zone, taking the total count to 18. Okay. So, through this news item, we'll be talking about the organizational structure of Indian Railways, which you need to know. Or not the organizational structure, but the territorial division of Indian Railways. Okay. And in the end, we'll talk about Guillain-Barre syndrome. It is an autoimmune disease. What is it? We'll talk about it. Okay. So first, let's start our discussion with topic number 1, which is National Commission for Safai Karamcharis. Okay. So Union Cabinet has approved extension of tenure of National Commission for Safai Karamcharis for 3 years. Now, what is NCSK? NCSK is a government body and it is a statutory body. Now, what do we mean by statutory body? It was established under a law made by Parliament. Okay, established as per a law made by Parliament. This law was made in 1993 and NCSK came into being in 1994. Needless to say that this commission works for welfare of Safai Karamcharis or cleanliness or hygiene workers in India. Okay. The aim of this extension is to improve the working conditions of sanitation workers and eliminate manual scavenging. Okay, manual scavenging means, well, these sanitation workers, some of these sanitation workers personally clean human waste, and that is a very inhumane practice. Okay, so to remove that and for the welfare of sanitation workers, the tenure has been extended. So let's talk more about NCSK. So it was established in 1994 under National Commission for Safai Karamcharis Act. So it is a statutory body. It functions under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Its headquarters are in New Delhi. And what is its composition? So it will have a chairperson, Then under that chairperson, it will have a vice chairperson, and then 5 members. Okay, the chairperson should be of the rank of Minister of State. Vice chairperson should also be that, and members can be secretary level IS officers mostly. Clear? Or anyone else as the government may prescribe. Okay. Now, what are the functions of this organization? Well, you can find these functions in your notes. They are very easy to understand. Recommend welfare programs, implementation of rehabilitation schemes, investigate complaints against the Safai Karamcharis. Okay, all these things are the functions of this National Commission. So go through that. All right. Now let's talk about second news item, which is Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay. To understand this news, you need to have a bit of background. You see, there were actually two types of cheetahs in the world. Asiatic cheetahs, which were found in Indian subcontinent, and African cheetahs. The problem is that Asiatic cheetahs have become extinct from the Indian subcontinent. So India no longer has any cheetahs, but Africa still has cheetahs, right? Now, India wants cheetahs in its backyard or in its wildlife, right? Therefore, India launched Project Cheetah. Okay. Now, Project Cheetah basically involves bringing African cheetahs and introducing them to Indian wildlife. Okay. This process is known as translocation. Okay. We are translocating African cheetahs and introducing them into Indian wildlife. Okay. Now, the countries chosen for this Project Cheetah are, well, we'll bring African cheetahs from Namibia and South Africa. Now, obviously, if we are introducing these cheetahs, African cheetahs, because these African cheetahs are used to, well, African climate and African habitat, right? Now, if you are to introduce these cheetahs into Indian wildlife, then you have to search for that Indian habitat which matches with African habitat, right? So those areas are suitable for these African cheetahs, which are similar in climate and vegetation to, well, African, Namibia and South Africa, basically. Okay. And one location was chosen, that was Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh. Now, a second location has been chosen for translocating African cheetahs, and that is Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. So, this was in the news. So, Madhya Pradesh Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary is poised to welcome the second batch of translocated cheetahs in India. The first batch was kept at Kuno National Park. These translocations of cheetahs from Namibia and South Africa are part of India's Project Cheetah, which aims to repopulate Indian landscape with cheetahs. Right? Very simple. Now let's talk about Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. So as you can see on this map of Madhya Pradesh, this area is Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. It is very close to Madhya Pradesh Rajasthan border, right? And Chambal River passes through it. Clear? So it lies on, and this region, entire region is Malwa Plateau. So on Malwa Plateau, on the banks of Chambal River near Rajasthan MP border, that's the location. What is the vegetation? Tropical dry deciduous forests and grasslands and scrublands. An apt location for cheetahs. Cheetahs thrive in grasslands, scrublands and dry deciduous forests, where the forest cover is not that thick. Okay. This entire Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary is divided by Chambal in two parts. Okay. The northern part is has dry deciduous forests, and the southern part has grasslands, scrublands. Clear? A very apt habitat for cheetahs, and that is why Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary was chosen. Okay, you can also see Kuno National Park over here. This is also an apt location for cheetahs. Okay, so why was Gandhi Sagar chosen for African cheetahs? Well, similar habitat. Okay, cheetahs thrive in savanna-like habitat. Okay, now savanna-like habitat is found in Central Africa. Clear? So this savanna-like habitat is found in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. So good. Plus, cheetahs need food to survive, and cheetahs actually hunt. Okay, they hunt their prey. So these areas should have enough prey base for these cheetahs to survive, so that they don't die of lack of food, right? So there is adequate food or prey base for these cheetahs. Spotted deer, nilgai is there in adequate numbers in these areas to sustain these cheetahs. Plus, these cheetahs are also not facing any competition from other predators. Like, had there been leopards in this area, then leopards would have also hunted nilgai, and cheetahs would have also hunted nilgai. Then there was not enough nilgai for the two of them. Clear? So these areas have, this area, Gandhi Sagar and Kuno, have very low numbers of other predators. So leopard population is actively controlled to reduce competition, ensuring cheetah's survival. That is why these two areas, especially Gandhi Sagar, has been chosen. All right? Okay. Now let's move forward to next news item, which is new study on SRY gene. Exceptional instances of females possessing SRY gene have been reported 3 times in medical literature, because SRY gene is only found in males. Okay, but 3 instances have been spotted where these genes have been found in females, 2 times in Italy and 1 time in USA. Now the thing is, what is an SRY gene? So you need to know this. Look, human DNA has 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23 pairs of chromosomes. Okay. Now, one pair decides your sex. Okay. These are known as sex chromosomes. Clear? And if you have X chromosome, it's a pair, right? So X is a chromosome, X is a chromosome. So if you have XX chromosome, you will most likely be a girl. And if it is XY chromosome, then most likely it is going to be a boy. The thing is that it depends on the sperm, because eggs have X chromosome. Now, if the sperm brings Y chromosome, then it will be a boy. But if the sperm brings X chromosome, it will be a girl. So this is your what? Chromosomes, a pair of chromosomes which decides the sex of the baby. Okay. Now, on this Y chromosome, there is this gene called SRY gene. Okay, on this Y chromosome. Now, Y chromosome is there in a boy, so this SRY gene is in a boy. Now, about this SRY gene is found on the Y chromosome and acts as a master switch for male development. Okay, if your boy, okay, in the womb has Y chromosome, okay, and if SRY gene is there, then this SRY gene actually triggers development of male sex organs and starts to produce testosterone, which produces male characteristics in the baby. If this SRY gene is absent in a baby, then she would automatically be a female. So if SRY gene is present, then it would be a male. SRY gene is absent, then it will be a female, right? The problem is that SRY gene is mostly found on Y chromosomes. Okay, Y. And Y is a boy's chromosome. But sometimes this SRY gene translocates to X chromosome. Okay. Now, boys have both X and Y, but girls have only X and X. Now, if X chromosome has SRY gene, which happens very rarely, but if that happens, then 2 things can happen. Okay, you can have XX chromosome males, okay, SRY positive males. Individuals with an SRY bearing X chromosome develop as males but remain sterile. Okay, they can't reproduce. Or SRY positive females. In this case, the baby has XX chromosome like over here, but this SRY gene is inactive. So these females develop properly as females. This SRY gene is dormant. Okay, these conditions can happen. Okay, so you can have a male with female characteristics, one SRY positive males, or normal female. Clear? But the more important information is you need to know our body has 23 pairs of chromosomes, and XX female, XY male, and this pair is known as sex chromosome. So 22 normal functional chromosomes, one sex chromosome. All right. Okay. Now let's move forward to new zone for Indian Railways. So Union Cabinet approved the plan to create new South Coast Railway Zone with its headquarters in Vishakhapatnam, Andhra. Okay. So now earlier we had 17 railway zones. Now we'll have 18 railway zones. Okay. Now this 18th railway zone was created under Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act, because earlier Telangana and Andhra Pradesh were together. But these two states were bifurcated in 2014, but their respective railway zones were not bifurcated. So government has done that now. Okay. So this new zone has been carved out of East Coast Railway and South Central Railway Zone. So earlier there were two, East Coast Railway Zone and South Central Railway Zone. Some area is taken from East Coast and some area from South Central, and this new South Coast Railway Zone is created. Okay. Now within this zone was the most lucrative railway division, because you see, railways territorially are divided into zones, and these zones are further subdivided into divisions. Okay. Now within East Coast Railway, there was this division called Voltaire Railway Division. Now Voltaire Railway Division was very lucrative. It was one of the most revenue earning division, okay, for East Coast Railway. Now this Voltaire Railway Division has also been bifurcated. One has been given to East Coast and the other has been given to this newly created South Coast. Okay. The purpose was to improve logistics, efficiency, industrial growth, tourism in the area, and to implement the goals of Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act. One area should be given to Andhra Pradesh, okay, because railway divisions didn't happen according to the division of the state. So that had to be implemented. So that is why this division or this bifurcation is done. Okay. Now this is some information about the organizational structure of railways. Remember, Indian Railways is a statutory body. That means it was created under a law. It comes under Ministry of Railways. And which is the body that manages railway? There is a railway board which functions under Ministry of Railways. So entire Indian Railways is managed under railway board. Now this railway board has basically 19 zones, 18 zones which we discussed a little while back, and one zone if you include Metro Railway Kolkata, then we have 19 zones, otherwise 18 zones. These zones are divided into multiple divisions. Okay, each zone is headed by a general manager. Then each zone is divided into multiple divisions and they are headed by divisional railway manager. Okay, currently India has 70 divisions, especially after the creation of a separate Jammu Railway Division. Okay, this is the bifurcation that you need to know. Okay, the operational or the organizational structure of railways territorially you need to know. Okay, so go through this. All right. And we'll talk about Guillain-Barre syndrome. Okay, this was our last topic, Guillain-Barre syndrome. So this is the information that you need to know about this syndrome. Okay, so it is a serious autoimmune disorder that affects peripheral nervous system. So basically, Guillain-Barre syndrome Guillain-Barre syndrome is a disease in which your own immune system attacks your nervous system. Okay, now your nervous system is of two types. Okay, one is your central nervous system, which is your, okay, I'll explain. Your nervous system is of two types: central nervous system, which is your brain and spinal cord, okay, and peripheral nervous system, which is all your nerves that are connected to different body parts, your hands, your feet. They have nerve endings, right? So they are part of peripheral nervous system. Now when your immune system, which is used to fight diseases, it starts to attack your peripheral nervous system, then it damages your limbs, okay, the nervous system in your hands, feet. Initially it might cause numbness, lack of pain in these areas in your hand and feet, and eventually it might lead to paralysis, because you can move your hands and feet because of the nervous system. Okay, But if there is paralysis, that means the nervous system is not working. The immune system has completely eaten away this peripheral nervous system. Clear? Now, no one knows the exact cause of this Guillain-Barre syndrome, but WHO says that generally, after an infection, viral or bacterial, chances of you getting a Guillain-Barre syndrome is high because your immune system becomes active during an infection. So when it is active, it fights the infection. Now, once the infection is away, then the immune system becomes dormant again. But if it remains active, it starts to eat your peripheral nervous system and you get Guillain-Barre syndrome. So WHO says we don't know the exact cause, but generally, Guillain-Barre syndrome happens after an infection, whether viral or bacterial. Now, GBS treatment involves a procedure called plasmapheresis, in which your body's entire plasma is removed, purified, and then given it to you. Okay? And your body's plasma is replaced with other fluids. Okay? Because your immune system is found in your plasma only. Clear? So, this is Guillain-Barre syndrome. That's all you need to know about this. Okay? That's all. And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it would add more value if you revise the lecture as well. So make sure you do not forget to revise this lecture from the notes provided on the Telegram platform. All right. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.